What's up, guys? Welcome back. Another trade recap. I've been locking the past few days. There's just been a lot going on personally, but I am making up for it today. It's actually currently March 31st, so I'm recapping for this past week because I think the last day that we spoke was March 24th, which was last Monday. So today we're going to recap Tuesday and Wednesday, which I had terrible trading days. On Tuesday, I actually lost $192. On Wednesday, I lost $32. So I kept it to a minimum. But yeah, let's just go back to these days and kind of see what happened here. All right, going to the 4 hour. So Tuesday was March 25th, which was this day here, which honestly, I should not have traded. I should not have traded at all. I didn't basically in my market notes here. I did not basically stick to my structure. I didn't do an opening range breakout. I didn't. And guys, I keep a journal every day. I think this is going to be crucial for me. On top of this video log, just kind of looking back at the notes on top of everything. But I didn't use my strategy. I basically continued trading throughout the day. And if you kind of see on the larger scale here, today was a very just choppy day. And this is the first hour we see some massive price action here and then all the way back. I mean, this is a day that I could have easily sat out, and I increased my lot size, which was fine, but I didn't stick to any of my rules. So this is just a terrible day, and as you can see, we didn't have much price action there, so it was just kind of terrible for me. And then on Wednesday, which is the next day here on the 26th, I actually lost $32, and I think I played the calls, which, as we see immediately after, it was an easy red day. And I don't think I followed my confluence here. So basically, it broke our opening range there, and then, excuse the dogs in the background, broke our opening range. I'm scared to kind of go to the 30-minute because I'm not sure if it's going to stay on the same day, which it didn't. Okay, didn't think it did. But yeah, this is kind of our 5 minute opening range. Let's see if it stays on the. Okay, going back to the 26th. Yes. Okay. Low, high, kind of faked me out here. I think I was playing the calls. Had I known, it would have been easy. Now I wrote these charts later on. Luckily, I kept my stop losses pretty short, but I was just way off. I think that not trading on Friday and then going over the weekend, and I just kind of losing my strategy, guys. And this is a banger of a day, like a banger of a day. Could have easily make. Um, so yeah, I think also like it kind of completely broke out of the structure, and I just didn't play. Like I just wanted to chase, and so once it came back here, I sold for a little bit of loss, and as you can see, it retraced all the way back down, which is what I needed. But that is all right. That is all right. Um, on the next few days, I made some back. Now, I drew this trend line here. I'm actually just gonna. We'll just recap this past week to kind of make it easier. So now the next 2 days I actually did great. Um, so as you see here, it was giving this bear flag here, right? Which I did not see until later on. So on the so we just reviewed the 25th and the 26th. So aggregate of those days, I lost 224 and $86. Then let's see if we go on to the 27th here, which is this day. This is when I actually started to make some back. I took my gains. I stick to my structure. Excuse me, my structure, my strategy. If we go to the 5 minute, this is today's. There we go. So on the 5 minute structure, this was our high and low here. Boom and boom. Right? As you can see, we broke through, but then came all the way back. This was the retest that I played, and then I played all the way here. It was easy, so that day I actually made 113. I stuck to my structure. If we go back, let's just kind of right. We set our stop loss here. This is exactly what happened, except for it was more here. There we go. So yeah, it was a very easy trade. I upped my lot size, as I said before, and this was perfectly following my opening range breakout strategy. So yeah, that was an easy trade. I made 113.39 on that day. Sorry, I just heard something in my house. And then actually on Friday, which was actually my birthday, I did the same thing. Played the puts, and now this is when, like, later on, if we go back, I want you all to see this on a daily time frame. This is giving a bearish flag majorly, right? So I did not see this at first, but seeing it now, I think it could get really bad, guys. And this is purely off technicals and also knowing that tariffs are coming. I am expecting a major side on the puts. But as basically what I did was, seeing this bear flag movement here, I basically just set up a trend line from the start of, what is this? Basically our all-time highs, which is at that 613 level, right? The distance from here, I started from our first start of downfall here, just copied and pasted from where the bear flag starts, and I actually end up right at my 507 level here. So I'm really watching that key level because I do think it could be major if we can kind of start to break here. Now, I don't think it's going to follow in a straight line, it is following this trend line now, as we saw today. It kind of stopped here, which I'll get to there. Today I actually lost $200, and that is partly because I took some stupid trades, partly because, yeah, a lot of different reasons. But Friday I actually played it on the right side. I didn't start with one contract. I started with a few. I think I started with 2 or 3. Still kind of light. As I said, I was looking to up my load side. Now I'm realizing the key to my game is going to be playing it like poker. So when I say that, I basically mean in poker, you're looking at your hands, and if you have a bad hand, like a two and a, now this is Texas Hold'em. So like if you have a 2 and a 4 or a 2 and a 5 in your hand, your odds aren't looking good unless they start to bring out on the flop in the river. You start to get a pair or two, but you're still not going to bet high on that, right? What I did wrong was I'm betting high immediately because I'm wanting the return, rather than looking at the quality of the structure and betting high when we see quality setups. So, noting that, I think that is exactly what we got here on Friday. I did up my lot size. And I actually ended up making about $114.61, which is great. It was a great trading day. I think I took my gains here, re-entered here, sold here. So yeah, I think I was in the 563s. It hit 563. I sold. I only had like 2 or 3 contracts. Then I got in again and sold around here, and it just continued to fall. So it was an easy trading day for me. And it was actually my birthday, so I took the gains and kind of just went and celebrated the day. Today, which is the last day of the quarter as well, March 31st, it was my first day switching back to Webull, which is the platform you see here. Before, I've been on Robinhood, it's just where I had my cash, which I would never advise. And the biggest moment I realized I don't need to be on Robinhood, and I think this is going to really evolve my trading. This is going to looking back and talking to my future self, this is the year of change. I know this is the year of change, and I'm going to make a lot of financial breakthroughs. And I am going to be a profit. I am a profitable trader. I might not be seeing the fruits of it, but I am definitely putting in the labor towards it. So, anyone who else is watching this, I want you to kind of just affirm yourself with those same things, because we know the things that we need. Sometimes we just kind of get off track. So, yeah, today was my first day in Webull. I started with 5 contracts. I wasn't even looking, which was a great learning curve today because I kind of needed that. So we're starting off to a rocky start, but basically I started off with 5 contracts, not looking where I ordered those contracts. And basically it went to this 546 level here. If we go on the 5-minute time frame, you can see we started the day really red. This is our opening range, 5-minute opening range here, right? So once we broke, I was in here, which as we can see, if we go on the 1-minute, my goodness. If we go into the 1-minute, we see calls were the better play, right? Here, yes, we got the break, retest, and this is when I entered. Boom. On a small short position, right? Problem is, I did not take my gains. This was the moment here, especially when I start to see price action slow up. I should have taken all my gains there. So that was a learning lesson for me going back. And the worst part is I did not set my stop loss. I kind of just let it run. And that's completely on me. Now you can see, you can create an order, limit order to buy or sell, whatever, you know? So that is what I'll be doing in the future, kind of really making sure I set my stop losses. And also taking those gains. Once I start to see action slow up here, why not take the gains? I had 5 contracts. I was actually up $100 here. The problem was when I took it, I did not see. I don't know. I was getting kind of greedy, so I sold 3 contracts. I was actually in profit, but I ended up holding, thinking after seeing all this movement from the day that we were going to be in a very, 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 very bearish market, and it's just going to kind of continue the trend there. But I was very wrong. I was very, very wrong. Did I just move my fib? I did. That really sucks. Okay, we'll have to move that back in a second, but I'll do that off camera. That actually really sucks. I think it was like here. But yeah, so we'll definitely have to watch that. But yeah, I definitely thought there was going to be a lot of bearish movement going into it. As you can see, if we go back and actually look at price action, we broke our highs. Let's go actually to the 5-minute because we can see it much better. And there's such an easy day for calls, but this is why we be reactive and not. I could have easily went to my other account and traded this, but I didn't, which is completely on me. If we look at it on the 1-minute time frame, we can see a clear, right? It goes up, it breaks through here, retest, and this is when I should have entered longs here. This is part of my strategy of opening range breakout. It gave so, but I was emotional and wanted keyword, I wanted price to do something else. Not being reactive, knowing that this is the setup that it's giving. It's a very easy setup, and I could have played to my 552 level here. After seeing it break and retest here, could have even played it higher. But it was on me that I was being very emotional and trying to push my personal bias onto the market, which we can't do. We have to be reactive, and we have to play this game like it's a game of poker, you know? Otherwise, we're going to get burned. So, yeah, guys, I think so. I actually lost $202, which I needed. I think now I'm back on my game. That was like a loss that I really, 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 really needed. So now I'm back at it. We're going to go ahead and continue to go hard. This month, I ended up with a loss of $263 total, which kind of sucks. On the quarter, I only made about $300 after 3 months of trading. $323. Having month one being my best, or month two being my best month. And then yeah, so I gotta shorten these losses, making sure I keep my stop loss very, very, very short. That's gonna be the biggest beneficial thing to me. And then on setups that I see are there, play to my advantage. So going into tomorrow, if we see the continuation, so like I think we hit this fair value gap there, it could continue on the upside. I do think long term we see a downside movement. Um, I mean, and I think I was speaking to some buddies of mine who we all do analysis of the market. I think Trump speaks on the second, which is where we could see some very bearish movement. Um, yeah, guys. I mean, like I said, looking at the technicals, of everything, this is giving very much a bear flag. So I do think it could get bad. Today was a very, very green day. Um, I just, I completely slipped there, and that's completely on me. Trying to push my bias onto the market, not being reactive, not playing, starting with small contract and loading contracts as I see confluence, and basically it's just like poker, right? You don't go all in on your first go, right? So that's my new thing is start with ante, go ahead and buy one contract to enter the game. Once you see your hand is really starting to play out, buy more, bet more, right? You got a strong hand, bet more, and you will win the hand. People are going to bet against you. And, depending on what the market gives you, you can fold. I like the idea of taking profits and keeping runners as I go, just in case it does do, right? For example, today 552 would have been the first one. Then my second take profit would have been I would have let some runners go, right? I'd have probably started with one contract as I see that. Okay, cool. It's still going. I would have loaded 2, 3 more here, as we would have seen price action go to 552. Then it creates a support here, and that's when I would have hit our next level at 556, and it actually went all the way to this trend line here. So today could have been an easy banger day, probably $300-400 day, but we took a loss, and I think it was a much needed loss. End of quarter three, I think going into quarter four, it's going to be a life changing start. A life changing start. As far as where I am in my stage in life, my relationships, my trading, and also just the job opportunities that I've been lining up. I've just kind of been working every day, and I've been very much enjoying the journey. So one of the biggest things that I've been telling myself, and a big lesson, is a loss is only a loss if you don't learn anything. So this is why I've been taking notes constantly. I'll continue to take notes probably for the rest of my life as I continue to trade. And I think it's going to be interesting. I do think this is a game that I have to kind of master very soon, because there is a lot of people out there that has computers that does this for them, who are making, hundreds of millions of dollars a day, not having to lift a finger. So I eventually want to get to that point, and make some really incremental change within our community and within our world. I think we have so many brilliant minds and brilliant ideas. We just kind of are stuck in the very old ways. But that's getting political. That's nonetheless what I want to focus on. But the biggest thing is Q4 starts tomorrow. We are on Webull. Right now the account's sitting at $300. Lost $200. I invested, put $500 into this account. So we're kind of starting from scratch. Today we lost $202, but tomorrow is the start of a new quarter and start of where we absolutely start crushing it. So we'll see what the bias is. As I said before, I think it's going to get really ugly. I think it's going to be a bear market going into it. And starting on Wednesday, I think there's going to be a big push to the downside. But we're going to be reactive. We're not going to try to be too predictive. It's good to have a bias, but also not let our bias form our decision, like what happened today. So biggest takeaways, as I said, with the lessons: start small, ante up once once you see your structure and your strategy play out, for me, I like the 5 minute opening range breakout. So slowly start with one contract. As you see your hand get stronger, go ahead and start loading more. Set your take profits so then you can have some runners, and then slowly move those stop losses to where it's like, okay, now I'm basically break even. I'm still taking profit even if it comes back down on the retracement. So um, yeah, guys. I mean, that's the biggest thing. I think we get caught up in our psychology. I know myself today. I definitely did, just wanting something different. But I know the future is going to be bright. So here we go. End of Q3 into the Q4. We're going super strong. This is where we show how profitable we are. So small account turning very, very, very large account here. And yeah, guys, I'm just excited. So we shall see what happens. But that's all I have for now. So sorry for the inconsistency. It's been kind of a crazy week, just celebrating it. But I do want to make sure I stay back on this. So I will be back doing this daily every time that I trade. I'm going to try to upload in the morning. So basically, as soon as market's probably still going to be open, there's going to be a lot of movement still on, which will recap the day before on the day that I'm doing. But yeah, I'm just going to make sure I stay active with that. But like I said, that's all from me, guys. I appreciate you staying up, and to my future self, as the abundance of wealth is coming in. I'm so glad we're doing this now, and we're enjoying the journey, and all those visions that we have are going to come true. I know it, but we're having fun where we are now. So that's it, guys. And y'all have a good one. Peace.